Hi there, welcome to this course on data visualization with Python, Plotly, and Power BI. My name is Harshit and I'm instructor for this class. I'll be teaching you how to use Python to create amazing data visualization charts using Microsoft Power BI, and we will also cover various kinds of Power BI tools and techniques. After that, my co-instructor Pranjal will teach you about using Plotly to create interactive charts. In this course, you will learning to create various kinds of visualization charts such as line chart, dashed line charts, scatter plot, Boolean chart with Seaborn and Matplotlib Python frameworks. You will also learn to create a strip plot and box plot, a line plot, and much more. Moreover, you would also learn to build interactive charts using Python Plotly, such as creating time series chart, bubble chart, pie, donut, and sunburst chart that are very interactive and easy to represent various kinds of complex data. You will also learn to create group and stacked bar charts and much more. So if you're curious to learn these data visualization skills using Python, Plotly, and Power BI, start learning right now. See you in the class. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson, you're going to learn about installing Python packages for data science in Power BI. So let's start with this. So once you have Power BI downloaded on your computer, or you can use an online installer, the next step is to ensure that you have all the Python packages required for data science pre-installed. So just go to File, Options and Settings and Options. Here you just move to Python scripting tab and just select these two options. You have to detect the Python home directory. If Python is already installed on your computer, you can find it into this PC, C, System32 for Windows, and for Mac and Linux with respective directories. And also you have to select the Python IDE to detect, but it is set to default OS program. In my settings, you can define a different IDE. So if you don't have a Python installed, you should go to the python.org website and you can simply download the Python package, the latest one, and just provide its path in the home directory settings in Power BI. Next step is to open the command line interface and just execute three different commands. First for installing pandas, then for matplotlib, and then for Seaborn. So just type py -m pip install pandas. So this will install the pandas file. And before that, you can make sure that the Python is already installed on your system or not. You can run the Python command in the directory where it is. So for us, the directory is C users and then username. So currently in the directory within the Python folder, you can run it in the user directory as well. So I already have the pandas library installed, but if you don't have, this is the way you can install it. For those who don't know how to install, so just run these three commands. The first syntax is similar: py -m pip install, and then you have to just provide pandas, matplotlib, and Seaborn. In the same way, you can also download other file libraries required in the Python, and even if you have already installed matplotlib or Seaborn, you can update it. Okay, it will tell you whether it is installed or not installed, or it is outdated. It will simply update it. So this will be very easy to go technique rather than just using a GUI method. It is very simple to do. So once these libraries are installed, you just need to refresh your Power BI, and you can just click on Python visualization option. So this way you can create a visualization for Python, and here you have to just drag into the columns or fields from the table and start coding. So you will be learning how to write Python codes to create visualization charts in Power BI in the coming lessons. Just make sure everything is installed and set into the place to before moving to writer scripting. If you're done with this, just hit the next lessons, or if you have any doubt, just try to rectify this thing. Keep learning. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about creating a line chart using matplotlib in Power BI. So let's start with this. So first we just need to get our data source. For that you just need to go to the get data and you can choose a various data source. Currently I'm importing Excel file, so I will navigate through the Excel file, and here you got a worksheet. Just check the sheet that you want to import. You may have multiple worksheets in different data sources. Currently I have one this thing. And next you just need to click on this Python icon in the visualization panel. This is the Python image that I have added. Don't worry, just put it aside. And here we just created a chart for Python. So just like you create a bar chart, pie chart, in the same way you can create a Python chart. So Python chart will allow you to create a code for generating a chart. So here just drop two values. We take the average values and site visitors and drop it into the values. And next some code is generated. So these are the comments. So you can either remove it and write it from fresh, or you can continue with anywhere you want. So once you're done, just write a simple code to create a simple chart. So line chart is most basic chart. So just first import this thing. Write import matplotlib.pyplot as a variable name. Provide a variable name, say k1. You can write anything else. So here this will import the matplotlib library and specifically pyplot function that we can use it. So just provide a variable name that we can use. You can write anything. Say I'm writing k1. So just write k1.plot. Plot is a function here in matplotlib. It will take the values of data source data fields. So just write dataset dot site visitor. So site visitors is a column in our spreadsheet or in a table, and we will use it as a axis. And just write comma and write dataset dot average time spent. So you may have two different data columns, data field that can be provided as x and y axis. And once you are done, just write k1 dot show open and close brackets. So it will generate a chart. So once you're done, just hit the run icon here. You can execute it. And don't forget to go to values and change it to don't summarize. By default, the column values are summed together, are calculated, but you don't want them to be summarized, and because you want each individual points on the chart. So this way we can have, if you invert the order of fields, say if you put average time is spent before then site visitors, it will change the axis for x and y axis. Okay, so you may be careful here, because the chart that you want, if you want any particular field to be x-axis, you can create it like that. Okay, so take care of the order of providing the data sets, and here it is. You can expand this chart, you can scale it, and you can go to the format tab where you can format this chart. Okay, you can change the size of the title, you can increase its value so it may be more visible. You can align it to the center of the screen. You can change the font color, you may change the font type, you can also change the title that is written. You can change it, you just write anything, your name, anything that you want. So you got various options to customize this chart. You can change the color of appearance, you can change the color of line, you can rename this axes, and you can create a various chart this way. So with the format tab you can format any of the chart, be it with a Python, or you can have it in the different charts in Power BI. So these allow you to customize. You can change the color of your background for the text, and this is it. So we learned how to just create a simple line chart using matplotlib. So the process is same. You just need to follow it. You may import a data set, put some of the columns that you want into the values option, and once it is passed to the values, you can just start writing your code. So this is simple 3 line of code, or it can be a single 1 line of code. Import is common. Importing a matplotlib library is a very common thing. So if you don't count it, it is just a single line of code. So a single line of Python code can generate amazing charts, and you will learn how you can generate more charts in a different advanced charts, because Power BI provides you a limited set of charts. But if you want to customize your data with the power of a programming language, that is R or Python, you can easily maneuver this thing, and you can create most interestingly a custom chart that is not provided here. In the cpon and the matplot library, you got tremendous amount of visualization charts that you can use. So if you're learning data science, machine learning, business intelligence, anything regarding Python, Power BI or such thing, you can just combine these two powerful things and create amazing visualizations. So keep learning and keep moving ahead. You will learning more in the coming lessons. Hey, welcome back, friend. In the previous lesson, you learned how to create a line chart in Power BI using matplotlib. And here we can just convert this line chart into a different chart, say a scatter plot or a dashed line chart. Or you can combine it to create a variety of charts. So just modify this chart. Here we have a zigzag line chart. Based on the data set that you use, you can create a different kind of line chart. So we have just modified this data set a little bit. So find this kind of chart. So just add some line. So first we want to add some labels to X and Y axis. So if you want to add some label to X axis, the code will be simple. Just use a variable k1 dot x label. Within the brackets, just write average time spent on the site. Here, because I want to display it on the screen on the x-axis, you can write anything. Say this is x-axis, anything you want. And in the same way, you can put the y label as well. Within the quotes, whatever you like write will be appeared on the screen. So here, just put x and y label on the screen. Say y label is site visitors per minute, and x-axis is average time spent on a site. So this is a website data where we have a range of data. So this kind of zigzag line chart is formed. We can create a scatter plot or a different chart as well. So by default it is continuous line chart. Okay, you can go to the format tab to customize this chart as well as the background. Okay, so just click the chart and go to the format tab if you want to customize anything. Otherwise just leave it. You may change some variables. So just go to the plot function, and here after the data set you just write a comma, and within single quotes just write few things. Say if you write R, this line will change to red color. Okay, R, small r, don't write capital, just write small r. If you write Y, it will change to yellow color. If you write G, it will change to green color. So these are the labels that you can use. So if you want to convert the color of your chart, you can convert. This will not just work in this line chart, it will work on any kind of chart that you use using the matplotlib function. If you just write V, it will change to simple triangle or dots on the screen, small dots. If you change it to a different thing, it will change. If you write O, it will change to scatter plot. This will represent points. Okay, if you write double dash, it will create a dashed line, not a continuous line. dashed line. And if you write O dash dash, it will create a scatter plot with a dashed line. If you write a variable name, say G is a color green, and just write double dash, it will change it to green dashed line. If you put R dash dash, just put color code before dash symbol. Okay, so first you need to define the color, then you can define how it will be appearing. If you write simple O, it will convert to scatter plot. Okay, so a scatter plot will show you the distribution of the points on the chart. So each point will be represented in that way, and you can identify the pattern or the outlier. If you want line chart as well as a scatter plot, you can combine it very easily. Just write double dash after O. So don't get confused, just experiment with a range of variables and you can customize these charts. Okay, so sometimes you want this thing to appear. So because data science is not just about creating charts using Python or Power BI, you want to narrate some story. Okay, so you may design this chart. If you are someone from designing background, or even if you're not from designing background, you may want your chart to appear nice, decent. You wear clothes that you like. Everyone is fashionable, and not everyone is a fashion designer, but people wear a fashionable clothes, have different things. So just try to decorate your charts. Okay, for decoration purpose, you may require to customize, and for customization, you may learn more functions and options here. So you learn how to create a dash line chart. Just don't when others are creating simple line chart, you can create a dash line. You can combine a scatter plot as well as dash line. You can use a combination of colors. You can express a different custom chart as well. So just dive deeper into this. Just ask question, why everything is set to root default mode, how I can customize it further. So just try to customize everything and try to create your own charts, use a variety of data set, and just keep building this thing. So here it is. You learned how to create 3 or 4 different kinds of chart. You can use a format painter as well. So once you created a customized chart, you can copy the format and paste it into a different chart in Power BI as well. So you may use the power of both things, Python as well as Power BI. So empower your data science project. Keep learning, keep moving. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about creating a violin chart in Python and Power BI. So let's start with this. So first let us import a data set and just select a data set. Here we got a data set with 4 different columns and field, and hit the load button to get it loaded. Next we are going to just create a Python visualization where we'll writing some code for matplotlib and cbond to create a chart. Here just take 2 different fields, continent and average time is spent. So continent will have the name of the continents of the world: Asia, Africa, North America, Europe, South America, and Australia. And then we got average time spent on a website for audience across the world. So we have data for each country, and it is categorized in form of continent. So volume chart will help you find the range distribution of values or either a concentration. So you can identify either your values are concentrated to a particular category or whether it is distributed equally across a range. So let's write some code. Here we need to import 2 libraries, matplotlib and cbond. Cbond will make your chart more attractive. Okay, so volume plot is generally a cbond function. So just write a s2.cplot. We have created a variable s2. You can create anything else, and just provide the data set. Here x equals to data set within a square bracket and quotes. You have to just provide the name of the variable. So in the x-axis we want to represent continents, so just provide that thing, and in the y-axis we want to provide a value or a measure, average time spent. And don't forget to just make it don't summarize, because you don't want to sum. And here just you can provide some more information like palette. You can define a palette in a different color, red, green, blue. Just choose blue for now. You can change the color as well. So this is a single line definition of creating a violin plot. This is how you create. Just use the matplotlib variable to run the show function and hit run script. And once you run the script, it will create a chart and it will appear on the screen. So right now it is summarized, so don't forget to change it. Just go to the field and hit don't summarize, because we want different values. So this is how your violin chart will look like. So we can find very easily that in Asia it is very equally distributed across a wide range. So countries in Asia have a wide range of average time spent on a website, while we got some concentrated result in Australia and some other continents. It is somewhat evenly distributed in Europe, but in Asia it is evenly distributed. Okay. In North and South America, we got high concentration towards the upper end of this chart of the average view duration. So average view duration is maximum in Africa. It is next in South America and North America, and it is minimum in Australia. Okay, this is simple interpretation. These are a different kind of values. You can identify whether your values are distributed across a range, evenly distributed, or whether they are concentrated. So violin chart is the best or very creative way to represent this thing, and you can create a violin chart using this code in Seaborn and Matplotlib. So try to create your own violin chart with a data set that you have and just examine things. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hey, welcome back, friend. Here in this lesson, we are going to learn more about creating a violin chart. In the previous lesson, we have created a violin chart using Matplotlib and Seaborn libraries in Python. So just create a new report in Power BI just by clicking this plus icon on the bottom of the screen, and then you can create a same Python visualization chart and drop two different fields. Earlier we have used continent and average time spent. This time we are going to use site visitors, number of site visitors, as well as continent. So we will get a different kind of violin formation. We are going to use this for the same reason. We want to identify the distribution range or concentration of values over the set across different categories. Here we have the category as continent, and just modify this thing a little bit. You can change the palette appearance from blue to green or red or any different color as well. So just make it don't summarize, so this way your chart will appear like this. So here you can find the chart appears little bit different. Say in South America, you got most of the values concentrated in the center. Okay, so it has this uniform bulging appearance in the center, and on the lower or upper end it has a smoothened down or narrowed. While in Asia it is weird that uh, we don't have a concentration in the center. It is little bit compressed. It has the hilly formation. So just go back to the previous violin chart. It was completely different from what we have this thing now. Okay, so here it has a different kind of formations. The formation of Asia and Europe tends to appear like same, while in Africa we got multiple values of site visitors, but this time we have more concentration on the higher end. Okay, so we can simply identify that in the previous violin chart it was mostly uneven distribution, because every continent has a different kind of formation. Okay, they had a different preference. Asia and Europe was evenly distributed. Asia was very evenly distributed, but it was on the lower end, and with the Africa, South America, and North America sharing the similar kind of formation, and they were on the higher end of this chart. Okay, and Australia was in the center somewhat, but they were concentrated in a range bound situation. While here, all the charts have almost a similar size, where the formation is a little bit different. Okay, so you can change the color of how you want to make it appear. By default, it is shades of blue. The palette is blue. It has multiple tones, color palettes. You can change it to red. Just rename blues to reds or greens. You have to place S because this is the format this variable is passed. If you do a spelling mistake, it won't produce a result. Okay, so don't get worried because you are running a code. There could be some kind of uh, syntax error or a spelling mistake. So be open. If you find some error, it is not showing a visualization chart, just click that thing to know more, and in that case you will learn how where thing gone wrong. It will show you that unable to identify green because greens is a variable that is taken here. You have to place an extra s. Okay, and also if you write reds in small starting with r in a small case, it won't be able to compile it either. So just focus on this kind of thing. If you don't have a coding background, if you have a coding background, you already know how to deal with this kind of situation. So be courageous and create a data set. Enjoy creating a volume chart. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about creating a strip plot using Python and Power BI. So let's start with this. So let us first create a new report, and here we are using the same data set that we used previously. And now let us create a table. You can create a table by hitting the table visualization and just drop the columns that you want. Here we want two different fields or columns: average time spent and site visitors. Both are the measures, and we will turn it to don't summarize because we don't want the sum of the values. We want each distinct values. And later on you can convert a chart to a different chart by just selecting this chart and hit the Python icon. So this will create a Python visualization chart. So your table will be gone, and now you can just see this code where your data set is passed through the pandas library and your data set is created. Okay, and we need this data set to create a strip plot. You can skip this step of using a table. You can directly just drop the fields or the columns and start writing. So what we are going to write is just import the matplotlib library and Seaborn. We will be using these two things. So just write import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. You can use any variable that you want. Hit enter for the next line, and then we are going to run this strip plot method, and we will pass through x and y coordinates for these two fields. Average time spent into the x-axis, and we'll plot site visitors into the y-axis. So it will create two axis, and here we will define the variable as dataset for stored in a data variable, and later on we can update it to have some palette markers edge, and it will create a beautiful chart. So what is a strip plot? A strip plot will consist of multiple distinct points. It will function as a in the same way as a scatter plot, but it will be little bit different. Here you got more control options. It will be visually more appealing. You can change the shape of each single point. You can make it circle, diamond, hexagon, anything, and it will have a colorful effect. This is the power of Seaborn. So if you want simple looking charts, you can just use a matplotlib default charts. Otherwise, if you want your chart to be more appealing, you can use the Seaborn package on the combination with matplotlib library. And here we can scale it and just create this thing. And in the next lesson, you will learning more about this strip plot in depth. Keep learning. Welcome back friend. Now moving forward with a strip plot that we created previously, and now just add some more properties by defining them, and we can customize this chart and make it visually more appealing. So just put a comma after you put the data set, you define the data set, and then just define a palette. You'll just write palette equals to set2 within the quotes. You can use various sets that are there uh, with this strip plot, and it will have some visual implications. And then you can define the size of individual dots or points. So let's make it anything. Let's keep it a small for now. Later on we can increase it to show the effect, and just put the marker equals to D. So D means diamond, so it will be in the shape of diamond. If you want to have it in a hexagonal form, you can just put H in place of D, and then put a edge color equals to green. You could have a different kind of edge color. Edge color are not the points color, it is a different thing. And then you can have the alpha. Alpha means transparency, so 0.8, just 0.25, anything. So if you want a more transparent thing, you can have a lower value of alpha. If you want to reduce the transparency, you can have this thing, higher value of alpha. Don't put it more than 1. 1 means 100% opaque, and 0 means 100% transparent. So this way you can do it. And once, if you even if you got some error, if you don't have a coding background, you can just hit on this option to show the error, and you will learn what are the real errors, and you can fix it. There could be simple syntax errors, spelling mistake, or sometimes it requires you to be case sensitive, where uppercase and lowercase are there. So if your green argument is defined in a small letter and you put first G of the green into the capital, it could be a problem, okay, while it is compiling or executing. So here we got a simple chart, and we got an average size diamond charts that are colorful. And here we got two kind of strips, first strip on the top side and second is on the bottom side. When we increase the value of alpha, say make it 0.8, it will be more opaque and less transparent. When we change the size marker from D to H, it will change to hexagonal. And in the same way, we can increase the size of these individual markers or points by just changing the value of the size. You can change the color, edge color, or make it a different thing, and it will show sometimes it will show some error. You can either refresh if your data set is being updated. If you're working with the live data, sometimes this kind of error may also appear. Currently I'm using a desktop version, so it won't have a problem in offline desktop, but if you're working in a real time and your data gets updated, there could be few errors, so it is better to refresh. Okay, and then if you want to compile it, you can compile it and make the size larger here. Just you can have a different size. If you have a very large size, the points will overlap. If you want to have a decent size, it depends. Okay, so it depends on you. You could also create multiple charts in the same way to identify anything. This will help you identify some kind of pattern, underlying pattern in a visually appealing. So when we increase the size is very large and reduce the value of alpha, it will be translucent. It will look like some glassy object that is shiny. Just keep it little bit smaller in size and you can control the value of alpha. So this kind of control will emphasize your chart, and it will help you narrate some kind of a story that can be conveyed with your data interpretations. Okay, so don't learn just Python coding or some data parameters. Just also focus on how you want to represent your data visually as well as verbally when you're presenting it. So try this thing on your own, keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about creating a box plot in Power BI. So let's start with this. So you can create a box plot using Python libraries such as matplotlib and cborn. So in the first part, this part we are going to use with the matplotlib, and in the next lesson you are going to learn about cborn. So boxplot is by default not available as a visualization chart in Power BI, and if you require to create some boxplot, you need to write some code. You can write code either in R or Python. We are using Python, so let's do it. So here we need to import matplotlib library for having the boxplot method to execute, and we'll pass two parameters, two fields into the parameters. Here we got two parameters as we have the by and the column. So column will show you the column values. It will the box plot is identical to candlestick charts. Those who are in the financial markets know what is a candlestick chart. So candlestick charts are the high, low, open and close values. Okay, box plot is similar to that, but here we don't have a high low value, but it will plot it using some box. So you will have a wick or a candle like structure here, and it could be used for various reasons and various scenarios. So we are not going to in depth where you can use the box plot. You may already be some kind of expert on this thing, so just learn how to create this box plot. Okay, so just pass these two parameters. You can make a grid in the background by enabling it and pass to true method, and when we try to run this code we find a simple error. So can't display this visual. Just go to into details, see more, you will find the error. Most of the time it would be simple syntax error, like here we have here on the last line. You can read that name error, name false is not defined. So simple, here is error is very simple. False is written in a small case. Okay, when we are using a boolean expression, we require the first character to be capital, be it true or false. So when we change it, it will run. Okay, so it will execute. And now we see a simple line just because of we don't summarize, we summarized it. Okay, by default it is set to summarize. You can turn it to don't summarize, or either you can set the settings in the Power BI itself, so it will by default set to don't summarize. But in various cases we require to be summarized, so thus we don't click. Here you can see the box is not created simply because we jumbled the column and row. So just replace them. So in place of site visitor, just write average time spent and vice versa, and here you got the box plot. So this is how you create a simple box plot in Power BI. Try to create this thing on your own. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hey, welcome back friend. In the previous lesson you learned how to create a simple box plot, and now we are going to create some advanced kind of box plot that will allow you to have a good visuals. We are going to use the cborn library. Just use the same matplotlib library as well, and we will have both of these. So make sure your computer has both of the libraries installed, and here just pass the same arguments or the fields and x and y axis. So just write y equals to average time is spent within the quotes, and you pass this argument into the y axis, and for the x axis you pass the site visitors. Okay, you can flip either of them to see some different kind of chart, but it depends on you. Okay, so what argument you want to put in x or y axis. So box plot, why they are used? Simply because a box consists of divides into multiple sections, which consist of the 25% of the data in a set. Okay, so they will divide, and it is similar to candlestick charts, and it will quickly provide you a visual summary of the enabling data for quickly identify the mean values. So you have a different values and a range of values, and you can easily identify what is the mean at a particular point. So it is widely used. It can be used for various reasons, where you want to quantitatively analyze the values or the distribution of different quantities on a data set. So higher, bigger the box, you find this thing, and you can find a center line, that is the mean, and you can find where the mean is. If a mean is right in the center, you find its values. If it tends towards the lower end, you find it like in the dark green box, and on the right hand side, you in the pink bar, you get the mean is on the higher end. Okay, so box plot is useful, and box plot with seaborn looks more appealing. It is colorful, it has various options, and you can go to the format tab to further control it, further customize it. You can change the color, you can make the title appear on the darker sides, you can add x and y coordinate labels, and much more. Okay, so just go to the customization tab and customize things. Say if you want the text alignment, you can change it to vertical alignment, top alignment. You can set the wallpaper color into different color, so this will change the background. If you select the chart, it will change it in different way. You can customize both the dashboard in Power BI as well as a chart. If you have a multiple chart, they will be interacted, otherwise you can have this thing. So you can just take some data set and try to create a box plot, either by using a simple matplotlib technique, or you can combine the seaborn technique. It is simple, it is simple one line of code. If you want to make it more advanced, you may pass multiple variables as well. Okay, so let us first just change it, the title into the center, just align it into the center, change the color. You can change the color of text, you can change the text itself, you can customize it a little bit. Say if you want to add some tooltip, you can do so. If you want to add some text, like your box plot is representing something, if you want to add some notes here, you can also add. So a visualization created with Power BI can be used for various reasons. It can be used for data science, for business intelligence, it can be used for data interpretations, a lot of things. Okay, from personal use to commercial use, or anything. So be open to learn anything and everything regarding Python, data science, and Power BI. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back, friend. Here in this lesson, you're going to learn about creating an LM plot or a line plot in Python and Power BI. So let's start with this. So this is a custom chart that we can draw to show some trend line, and with various points, just like a scatter plot, they will be shown on either side of the line. So just click on the Python in the visualization panel, and here you can create a chart and start coding. And just drop a few columns here. We are using the same two columns, average time spent and site visitors, and just write the code. Here we would require a simple matplotlib library. We will import the pyplot functionality here, and we will use the seaborn library of Python. So just declare the import statement here, and after that just write I plot equals to the object for seaborn s7, and use the function lm plot to create this lm chart. And here you provide those two fields or columns into the parameters x and y. Say in x, just put average time spent, and on y put site visitors. Then you need to define the data set and pass it into a data variable, and then we can simply show it and run. So just write the show statement. It will use the matplotlib function. Sometimes people used to write the show method, and thus your chart is not shown on the screen. And now just turn it to don't summarize, or if you want to summarize, it will still show. So here you got multiple points that appear on the chart, and here in the center you got a trend line that is linear, so it can be used to show the alignment of these values. It can be used for advanced calculations. It could be used for machine learning and complex mathematical situations where there it can be used. You could also add a side note here using a text. You can add a text, you can add an image, you can go to the format tab and put some formatting here. It is simple and it is one of the complex chart. If you want to take the variance, median, average, all the sum of values, you can just do it. Otherwise, just set it to don't summarize. It would be well and good. So try to create this thing on your own. Keep learning and keep moving ahead.
Hey friend, welcome back. In this lesson, I'm going to tell you that what are the packages and libraries which will require throughout the Plotly series. This is my environment named DataVis, where I've already installed all the libraries and packages related to data science, machine learning, and of course data visualization. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do here is to open the Jupyter notebook. And to open the Jupyter notebook, you can just simply write Jupyter space notebook, and it will going to create a server for Jupyter, and where you can easily create the Jupyter notebook. Either you can use Google Colab or any other things, but I prefer generally this Jupyter notebook. Okay, now here I'm going to import some of the libraries and to show the version which I'm using right now, 5.1.0, which is the latest one, while at the time I'm recording this course. And I'm going to now show you that how you can simply create the basic charts with the help of this Plotly. This is how you can use iPlot to plot your line chart, and simply remove the I from your iPlot. It will going to open the new tab, okay, from where you can download that particular chart, zoom in, zoom out, and then you have the option for pan, then there's option for auto scale as well, and lots of other options are available with this Plotly. It makes your chart more interactive than any other data visualization libraries and packages like Matplotlib, ggplot, bouquet, or any other. It makes a little bit more interactive. That's why I prefer using this Plotly. Okay, now the next thing which you have to do is the very necessity step, that how you can create the environment and how you can install the libraries and the packages. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you a chart, how to create a simple line chart. I'm going to extract that particular code snippet from the official Plotly website to show you that how it will going to work to create a simple line chart with the help of Plotly Express. Okay, so why I did all these things, the thing is I'm just showing that all the setups which I have right now will going to produce a beautiful charts, and Plotly is working fine. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to use my own data sets, and this is for only demo purpose. That's why I just use the official website data set and their code snippets. Okay, so this is Anaconda Navigator, and here you will get lot packages. And for my database, as I said, I have already installed various libraries and packages related to machine learning, data science, and so on things. Okay, so that's why we have lots of things here. So for you must have Plotly, you must have Dash, the pandas, and as well as the NumPy. These are some of the packages which you must have inside your environment. So either you can use Google Colab or Jupyter, but you need to have these packages. For now, keep learning, keep exploring. Hey friend, welcome back. In my previous lesson, I've shown you that how you can create the simple line chart. Now, in this part, I'm going to create another line chart, but with different data set. This time, I'm going to use stock market data sets. Okay, so here I'm going to create my dummy test sets for stock market as well. For it, the first thing which I will require here is the stock price, the random stock price, and that random stock price will be like 40, then sometimes 20, then sometimes increasing and sometimes decreasing. Okay, that's how the stock market work. That there will be company, there will be ups and downs over the time. Okay, so here I will going to generate a random stock prices, and then I'm going to um, create a list from year 1999 to 2021. Okay, so this will be the whole data set for me, and here I'm again using this random function to generate my dummy data sets. Okay, so here I have created a variable for change which will going to add into my prices, and then I'm going to append that price into my list. Okay, so this is the logic behind to create the dummy data sets. Okay, isn't it easy? Yes, it is easy. So whenever you are going to rerun this cell, it will going to create again and again the random data. Okay, sometimes it can give the negative value if you wish to add the minus 40 instead of 40. Okay, that's why I'm just using the 40 positive post 40. So whenever I'm going to create the line chart, then you will find that the stock price is just increased, just like a compounder stocks. Okay, compounder stocks are those stocks which over time increase only. Okay, so here I'm going to just going to create a line graph for a compounder stocks. Okay, through which over time it just increased, never decreased. Okay, so here I'm going to create a list for my year, and here I'm just doing this. The only thing is to increase the number from 1992 to 2000 until it will iterate till the 22nd times. Okay, so this is the logic behind to create a list of years. Now with the help of this two list, I'm going to create the dictionary is like having, there will be one key, and for that there will be corresponding value will be there. So here I, in my data set, you will require these two things, which is stock price and the date, the year. So I'm going to create a what I'm going to create a dictionary, and in this dictionary there will be two values and the two keys will be year and the stock price, and the value will be the list. So this is the uh, dictionary where you can give your keys and values. Okay, as you can see, the length of both the list is 22, so you can easily create the dictionary. Please make sure that the length of both of the list must be same. Okay, so this is how you can create the dictionary, and then dictionary is converted into the data frame. Okay, so we have now our dummy data set, our dummy data frame. Now I'm going to create the line chart for this data. Okay, now you need to import this plotly library and write down the figure equal to px dot line, and then you need to pass the data frame, which is the input, and the x and y. Okay, so this is how you can easily create the line chart. As said that it is a chart for the compounder stocks which over the time increased only. Okay, now let me put some negative value here like minus 40. Okay, now rerun all the cells, and let's see that what kind of charts will be going to be created. And as you can see that sometimes it increased and sometimes it decreased, ups and downs are there. This look like a much similar to any stock price for any stock. Let me rerun the cells again, and this time okay, the value is in negative. So if you want that this kind of condition will never occur, you need to put some if and else condition as well, so that it will going to obsolete these situations. Okay, instead of minus 40, I think minus 20 will be a better option for us. Again rerun the cells, and you can see a chart which don't have any negative value as well, and it increased over the time, but sometimes there was time when it was in the bearish mode. Okay, so this is how you can create your dummy sets, and then you can able to create the line chart. And this is not only the line chart, it is also you can say the time data time and data chart. Okay, so I'm now going to create another dummy data set for another company A. Okay, and here I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to replace it with the suffix of A and all the variables which I think should be changed. Okay, so I think we did some changes which are required to create the dummy set for company A. Okay, so this is kind of time series chart. Okay, where there will be some times will be there in the x-axis, and in the y-axis there will be some values, in our case the value of stock price over the time. So this is not only line chart, you can also say it as a time series chart. Okay, now I'm going to use the graph objects. Okay, so that I will be easily merge two charts in the same graph. Okay, so you need to just import plotly.graph as go, and then figure you need to initialize the instance for figure. In case of graph object, then you need to add traces. Okay, and while creating the line chart using this graph object, you need to use the scatter option. Okay, scatter is like some points, some data points which are scattered all around your graph. That's why we name it as a scatter chart. And here it will going to connect all the dots, connect all the data points to create the line chart. So here I'm going to add all of those things here and create a line chart, a merged line chart, where there will be the stock price value for two companies. One is company which I created earlier, and then company A. Okay, so this is how this whole thing work. It is very easy to use plotly, because you don't need to you don't need to write any complex code here. It's just simple, just like writing English. Okay, so this is the best thing which I can see here. Okay, so the changes which I'm doing here is like stock price of company 2 will be okay, rather than saying the company A. Okay, and I don't think so that any changes required here. Okay, it's like no module name plotly job. Oh yes, the the module is graph object. Okay, now I have got another error which is stock price of company 2. Okay, this is the column name which I supposed to have, and I don't think so that any kind of problem is there. Okay, 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 I understand. Okay, okay, that data frame which I've used doesn't have that column. It is in data frame 1. So this is the graph of two stock prices of different companies. Let me rerun the cell for company 2. As you can see now, the charts look similar. They are in upward direction, but sometimes there is some fall is there, and sometimes there is up is there. Sometimes bear pair is there, sometimes there is bullish pair, but most of the time it is bullish in nature. That's why we can call it as a compounder stock. And in plotly you can select the different companies particularly. Okay, now this is all about line chart, or you can say time series chart. I hope you have understand the difference between line chart and the time series chart. Time series chart will totally focused on like one x-axis or either y-axis, but most of the times in x-axis there will be the time will be there, and in the line chart there's no type of criteria that that particular axis will going to be the time. Okay, you can put any variables you want to and show it on the basis of the line chart. Okay, so in the next lesson we're going to talk more about different kinds of chart which you can produce using this plotly. Till now, keep learning, keep exploring. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Here in this lesson, I'm going to talk about scatter chart. Let's do it. So first of all, I'm going to import the Panda library and then the random library as well, because these are the libraries which I'm going to use here. Okay, so here I'm going to talk about the scatter chart. Why do we need the scatter chart? The first question which really hit in your mind. Like, scatter chart is very useful in the field of data science as well, the data analytics, then your machine learning when you're going to deal with some kind of linear regressions and many other problems. Okay, so in this scatter chart, what actually happened, that there will be some values in x variable, then there will be some values in y variable, and you're going to put down that all that data points into your graph and scatter all around your graph. That's why we call it as a scatter chart, or you can scatter graph. So here, first of all, I'm going to create my own dummy data sets with the help of this random library. I'm going to generate the random values and put into my data frame, and then we're going to create our scatter chart. Okay, so through which our scatter chart, we can collect some relationship between two variables as well. You can also collect the correlationship between the variables. Okay, so these are the some major points which you must know while creating the scatter chart. Okay, now here, as in my dummy data set, I'm putting the 10 companies will be there, and with their random stock price will be there, then random volume will be there, and then random change in the price will be there. Change in price simply means the price which is today and the price in the previous day, and the change between them I'm going to put into my change in price. So here I have the four list. One is name, stock price, volume, and the change in price. And then I've created the for loop, and it will iterate until and unless for 10th iterations, as the length of my name list is 10. Okay, because we have the 10 companies. And with the help of this random int function, I'm going to generate the dummy values. And as there is two values around my bracket, this simply means the value will be between the value 1 and the value 2. Okay, so this is my for loop to generate the random values and create a dummy data sets. Now I'm going to put all these list values into my dictionary. As we know that dictionary have two things, one is key and one is the values. So in the key is basically the our name, our stock price, our change in price, or and the volume will be there. And in the value, I'm going to put the list. Okay, so in this way, I'm actually creating the dictionary, and later on, I'm going to put this dictionary values into my data frame. And data frame is the main thing through which we are going to create our any other charts. This is like input thing which you need to put down, and then you can able to create which is a graph or chart. Okay, so this is my data frame, and I think I made some mistake here. Okay, I forgot to replace the values. Okay, now I'm going to rerun this as, and this is the new data frame with the dummy values around. Okay, so I love to play with random values because we're going to get some randoms chart. Okay, so sometimes it will not look like it can be feasible or not, but yes, that's the beauty of using the random data. Okay, so now the main game is to create the scatter chart here. So first of all, you need to import this plotly.express, and then I'm going to use this figure for my variable, and then px.scatter, and here you need to put the data frame, the x value, and the y value. And here I'm going to use the stock price and the change in the percentage, and to show the relationship between them. Okay, that's the main thing. Okay, so you need to put down all your values here, and later on I'm going to show you that what kind of relationship I'm extracting from this chart. Okay, so that right y equal to the change in price. Change in price simply means like today is 10 rupees, earlier was 8 rupees, then there is a change in 25% today. Okay, that is a thing which is will be there in the change in price. Okay, this is the my scatter chart. As I said, that the points will be scattered all around my graph. That's why it is called as a scatter chart. You can see the price which are lower than 70 having a high change in price, rather than the price above 70 having a high price, but some of them are in negative. So this is the relationship I'm extracting from this scatter chart. Actually, I don't think so that this relationship will going to be take to some point, but yes, that's, you can call it as a scatter chart, and you can put into your problem statements and then derive the meaningful insights. So that's all, this is all about scatter chart. In next video I'm going to add some more things into my scatter chart. Okay, so for now, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep data visualizing. Okay. Hey friend, welcome back. In my previous lesson I have shown you that how you can build a scatter plot in few steps, and here I'm going to add some more things into my scatter plot. Now, as I have used the plotly to build my scatter plot, as you can see that while hovering over my plot, it's giving the information about the data points. So this is the advantage of using plotly over any other data visualization libraries like matplotlib, seaborn, ggplot, and various other ones. That's why I use this plotly, because it makes a little bit more interactive and it is also visually appealing. So that's why plotly have some advantages over any other visualization libraries. Okay, now I'm going to add some titles into my scatter plot, as it is very important to add these titles into your plot so that your audience could understand that what kind of data you are showing, you are representing to them. Okay, so titles are very important thing, a very important component as well, which should be added into your plot. Okay, now I'm going to add some colors into my the scatter plot. Till now, that the only color it used, which was blue for each and every company. Now adding this color will be like, it will going to give different colors for different companies. As it is interactive, you can select and deselect each of them. Okay, and you can see that it is showing the information all about the company just pouring down your graph. Okay, and now I'm going to add the symbols into my this plot. Yeah, that color is also symbolizing the same thing the symbol will be going to do, like they actually showing that they represent the unique identity. Okay, so as you can see that it created random symbols to my each of my company. Okay, so as you can see that I have selected some of the portion for my chart, and there's option for downloading it into png, zoom in, zoom out, then pan to like to move around your graph, then the box to select that particular point and to compare with other point. It all the points will be faded out, and then there is like zoom in, zoom out, then there's option for auto scales. Lots of options are available there with this plotly. That's the amazing, that's too much. And I'm going to add now some more things into my plot. Now it's better to add some titles over my each and every data points. Okay, so instead of using the colors, the symbol, you can also add the text over your data points. Okay, this adding some colors is like visually appealing. Okay, and the symbols too play the same role, but adding text will be like, yes, that points is for that company. Okay, it gives the instant information about that data point. Now as you can see that the text which I've added is it's just over my data points and it doesn't look attractive. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to change the position for my text. For it you need to update the traces, and here there will be many options with there, as you can see here. So among them I'm going to use one of them and put down there and see the result. Okay, so I think this top right will be best to change the location for my text. Other than it, there many options like top left, bottom right, bottom left, and so on. There's a permutation around between four directions. Okay, so I'm going to add this top right here, and you can see that the text position is now changed to the top right. Okay, and this looks better than the previous one, isn't it? So this is all about that how you can add text into your graph and change the position of your text and so on things. Even you can change the font style as well, the size of your font, all of the options you can change here. Okay, this is the power of using this plotly chart. And one more thing I think I should do here is to update the x-axis. Okay, so to represent the data from 1 to 100, or you can say 0 to 100, so it will look little bit not looking like a misleading charts. There is some chart which is misleading one, which will going to convey their audience in their way. Okay, so avoid to create the misleading charts. And here I have updated the x-axis 0 to 100, and there will be a step of 10, like 0, 10, 20, 30, and so on. So this is how you can update the x-axis. Even I'm going to change the axis for my y as well, and you need to just add the y instead of x. And you know that the values were between -10 and 10, that's why I just given the range between -10 and 10. And here I'm going to give a step of 2. Okay, so like it will be like 0, 2, 4 in upward direction, 0, -2, -4 in the downward direction. So here you can update all on x and y axis. You can also update the text positions, you can update the text font style, the size, and many other things. I hope you have understand a lot of the options you can use in this chart and with the help of Plotly. In the next lesson, we're going to a deep dive into some more graphs and figures. Okay, so for now, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep visualizing. Hey guys, welcome back. In my previous lesson, I have shown you that how you can create the scatter chart and the dot chart with the help of that symbols. Now in this part, you will going to learn that how you can create the bubble chart. Bubble chart is an extension to scatter chart. Earlier in scatter chart, we have to make a relationship between two numerical values. But with the help of bubble chart, you can also put the third variable as well. Okay, and here the third variable will be our volume. That will going to define the size of bubble. Okay, earlier that was only the dot points were scattered all around the graph, but this time with the help of the bubble chart we can able to add one more dimension to our data set, to our chart, which is our volume. And with the help of volume, we will going to plot a chart with different size of bubbles. Okay, let me show you that how it will going to work. So first of all, this is my data frame, and I'm going to create the random data set again. And this is the, yeah, this is for to create a simple scatter chart. And here I'm going to remove this symbol portion, and instead of writing symbols I'm going to mention the size. The size is the size of our bubble. Okay, now here you need to put the volume here. Okay, some typographical mistake were there. Okay, now I've correct the spelling of volume, and now I'm going to put volume here. Okay, so let me show you that how our bubble chart will look like. So you can see now there is a bubble chart is around my graph with the different size. Let me return this cell, the random data set. Okay, and again I need to revise these cells again to initiate the data frame. And yes, instead of rerunning that particular cells, the size was not too much unchanged. Okay, so it's better to increase the range. Okay, previously it was 5,000 to 10,000, so we are unable to see the difference between the different sizes of the bubbles. Okay, this time I think that there, yeah, you can see that now the size of the bubbles are having a difference. Some are very small and some are a little bit bigger than the smaller one. So this is how you can plot the bubble chart, and it is the difference between the scatter chart and the dot chart. Okay, so for now, keep learning and keep exploring. Hey friend, welcome back. Here in this lesson, we're going to talk all about pie chart. Pie chart is one of the most popular chart, which is best to use when we are trying to work out with composition with something. Like here, we're going to use different sectors of the stock market like financials, healthcare, IT, etc. And then we're going to find out the weightage of the sector in terms of their occurrence. I mean, out of 26 company, 3 is for healthcare, 4 is for IT, 5 for finance, and so on. And at last, we're going to create our pie chart to visualize that composition. As always, we're going to create our own data set, so let's create them. As there will be 26 company in our indices, let's name them in the alphabetical order. Okay, now we're going to use the random choice function to associate our company with the random sectors. And the first thing which we can do is to add all the sectors into this data frame and then convert it into the list. Okay, so once you have the list with all the sector name, then we can easily associate our company with different sectors. So now just write down np.random choice, and here you need to put the data frame which is df1, which I have created for the sectors. Just write down df1 sectors to list, which means that we are converting our data frame column into the list. And then you need to specify the size, which is the length of our data frame, the original data frame. So now we have created a data frame with two columns. One column determines the name of our stock and other column determines the sector name. Okay, and whenever you're going to run this cell, it will going to generate that random thing. Okay, now I'm going to use this collection method, which will going to count that how many times that particular sector occurred in that whole data frame. Okay, it is very easy to use this collection method, so that you don't need to put all this for loop or while loop to count each of them. It saves a lot of time. That's why I use this collection method. Now you will get the counter object. You need to convert that counter object to the dictionary, and then I'm going to convert this dictionary into the data frame. Okay, once we have the new data frame, we can easily create our pie chart to visualize our composition. Okay, and here as dictionary we have key and the value format. We're going to define the key as sector and the value as the occurrence for the column of our new data frame, which is new df and column. So this is how it works, that we have the sectors and we have the occurrence of particular sectors. Okay, now I'm going to use the Plotly Express library to create our pie chart, and just write down pi equal to px.py, and you need to mention your data frame, your value, and the name. And here value is the occurrence, the numeric value, and the name will be the sector. Okay, so here I'm going to find out the composition of our indices and on the basis of the different sectors. Okay, now let title it as a sector wise composition. Okay, now I'm going to show this figure. Just write down pi dot show, and it will going to generate our pie chart. Okay, it will be values, not value here, and same for name. Okay, you need to add the s at the last. So this is the pie chart, how it look like. It denotes that the percentage of particular sector, and here each slice represents the different sectors. Now I'm going to create a new pie chart in the terms of the stocks. For it, I'm going to create a new column for my data frame, which is weightage. And here I'm going to give the equal weightage to each of the stocks. And now I'm going to remove this sector factor, and now we're totally focusing on the stock's name and their weightage, which is 3.8 for approx, because when you're going to divide this 100 divided by 26, it will going to give 3.8 for something. And once you're going to add all of that figure, it will going to generate 99.99 something, because all the values is in the float value. Okay, now we have the numeric value, the weightage, and we have our stocks. And now we're going to create a new pie chart, and here I'm going to just do some of the changes, like we're going to change the data frame name and the value, which is now weightage, and the name is the stock. Okay, I'm also going to change the name of my title as well, because it is now stock wise composition. So this is how this a new pie chart look like. And one thing you must see here, and you maybe observe it as well, like if you're going to add more and more slices into your pie chart, it will not going to look a attractive one, and the end user will be getting confused at what kind of data you are showing to him or her. So it's very important thing you must know, that if you want to show your data in the form of the pie chart, try to limit the number of slices. Max to max 7 slices will be okay. Okay, if we're going to add some more slices, then it will be little bit uh, untidy, or you can say unattractive. Okay, so this is the key note which I want to convey you, and this is all about pie chart. And in the next part we're going to discuss donut and the sunburst chart. Till now, keep learning and keep exploring. Hey friend, welcome back. In my previous lesson, I have discussed all about pie chart. Here in this lesson, you are going to learn about donut chart. Let me revise some of the points which I discussed in my previous section. Pie chart, basically it is a circular graph which represent the individual categories in the form of the slices. Whereas in this donut chart, which is a variant of the pie chart, but it has a hole in its center, and it will going to display the categories in the form of arc rather than the slices. And if you get some of the spaces between center, then you can add some more information into your donut chart. So this is one of the advantage of donut chart over the pie chart. And as I say that the only difference is the whole. So you need to add the whole attribute and give any value ranges from 0 to 1. Okay, I think zero point 0.6 look better than zero point 0.3. Now I'm going to create another donut chart for my stock wise composition. So just paste it here, and again I'm going to add that whole attribute into this. So this is how this pie chart and donut chart can be easily created with the help of Plotly, just adding the whole attribute. Okay, and the best part is that as I'm using the Plotly chart, then you can easily interact with your chart. Okay, you can opt the options which you want to have, like you can choose the different sectors in your compositions. Okay, so this is how this Plotly have a action. So let me compare with like healthcare with different sectors, like healthcare with finances, that it is about 80-20%. Okay, so this is how this donor chart look like, and we'll be going to discuss the sunburst chart in the next lesson. Hey friend, welcome back. In my previous lesson, I have told you that how you can create pie chart, donut chart. Now in this part, I'm going to discuss that how you can create the sunburst chart. So what is sunburst chart? You can also name it as a ring chart, or you can say multi-level pie charts or radial tree map. Okay, because these type of chart used in to visualize the hierarchical data structure, like uh, a sunburst chart will going to consist an inner circle, and it is surrounded by rings of deep hierarchy level, and then the angle is distributed accordingly the percentage for that particular parent node. Okay, so here I'm going to create the sunburst chart, and as here I'm defining the path. Okay, you need to define the path like from parent to the child. Okay, and here for me in our data set, the parent is the sector, and then the next child will be my stock names. Okay, and here it will going to distribute the angle with the help of the values given in the weightage. Okay, so this is how you can easily create the sunburst chart. Now let me show you that how it will look like. Here I'm just going to create a level 2 sunburst chart. You can also increase the levels as you're going to define the path accordingly. Okay, and here is only one parent is there and one child is there. That's why it comes under the level 2 category. So this is how the sunburst chart will look like. In the inner circle, there is a weightage for the parent node, which is the categories for our stocks, like some financial is there, then materials, then IT, and so on. And once you are going to tap one of them, one of the inner slice, it will going to open that outer one. Okay, as you can see for this consumer, here there are three stocks out there. Okay, now once again tap it again, and this is for materials. J, H, X, V, and L comes under into it. Okay, so it have a greater percentage as compared to that one. Then there is real estate. There are only two stocks related to that real estate. So this is how you can represent your hierarchical data with the help of sunburst chart. If you're not going to put the hierarchical data, it will just look like a simple donut chart. Okay, so this is the major difference between the pie chart, the donut chart, and the sunburst chart. Hope you have understand the difference between and create accordingly. For now, keep learning, keep exploring. Hey friend, welcome back. Here in this lesson, you're going to learn that how you can create the bar chart. First and first, we are going to import the Panda library as it makes importing and analyzing of the data much easier. Then with the help of read Excel function, as my data is in the form of Excel file, so I'm using this read Excel function to read my data set. If you have any other kind of data set, you need to use that particular function. Like for CSV, you need to use read CSV function. Now let me show you that how our dataset will look like. The name of our dataset is ownership.xls. Okay. Now as you can see here that there are four columns out there. One is year and then three different categories of the ownership: promoters, FIDI, and the public. This FIDI simply means foreign institutional investors and DI simply means domestic institutional investors. Okay. And it is very important to know the change in the percentage over the time in the different categories while doing the fundamental analysis of any stock or any company. As with time, if there is change in the ownership continuously, the frequency is the high, that simply means that something's wrong with that company or anything else. Okay, so this is very important factor you must know while doing any kind of fundamental analysis. Okay, now let us focus on the creating the bar chart. As you can see that I simply import this plotly.express after creating our data frame, because I'm not that type of guy which put all the libraries and the packages in the very beginning and don't know when to use what. Okay, so I simply import my packages anywhere, anytime. Okay, so let's leave this. Now you must know that at x-axis you want to put which variable, and on y-axis which variable you're going to put. Okay, as it is a bar chart, there will be some rectangular bars will be there, and by default when you're going to create the bar chart, it will be in vertical form. Okay, so this is the bar chart how it looks like on the y-axis the value for promoter percentage is there, and on the x-axis the time is there, the year is there. Okay, now we have the three different categories. I'm going to add those also, but later on. First of all, I'm going to add the title into my bar chart, as it is very important to add this title so that your end user, your audience will able to understand that what kind of data is represented with the help of the chart. Okay, so I'm just simply going to write like shareholding pattern for the promoters. Now let me run this cell. You can see that the title is now showing just above our bar chart. Okay, now I'm going to change the colors of the bar. Okay, so with time it will going to change the color. So let me change the variable name and add one attribute which is color, and here I'm going to put the year. Okay, so on the basis of the year, the different year, it will going to change the color of the bars. So let us run the cell. This is the cell. Okay, so this is how it works. It's showing the different color form for different year. Okay, the latest one is in yellow color and the oldest one is in blue color, and then there's some color maps there, and accordingly it is changing the color of the bars. So this is all about the bar chart, the basic bar chart. In the next lesson I'm going to describe some more advanced features of the bar chart and the different types. What's up guys, welcome back. Here in this lesson I'm going to tell you that how you can put the multiple variables into your bar chart. In my previous lesson I have just created the basic bar chart with only one variable, like I've just used the promoters percentage. Now in this lesson we're going to learn that how you can add the multiple variables, as there were three different categories which comes under ownership, like promoters, public, then FIDIs. So for it I'm going to create the list for it. Okay, like let me add that categories. So it's better to use this df dot columns, and now I'm going to copy all that different categories and paste it here. So this is my different categories of ownership. Now instead of just promoters I'm gonna use this y list. Now let me run this. So it's now showing that three different categories. Okay, in the stack format. Okay, let me remove this color attribute, so it will going to give the color according to that ownership one. Okay, so as you can see that for blue it is showing for promoters, for red it is showing for FIDIs, and for green which is for public. As it is plotly chart, it is very interactive. You can choose what the option you want to show. Okay, like for FIDI you can see that it is in the decreasing manner, and for promoters it is in increasing manner. Okay, so this is how this plotly interactive chart looks like, and this is the chart in the form of the stacked format. Okay, and you can also use the grouped one also. So let me use the bar mode to create the group chart, the group bar chart. Okay, and there are basically three popular um, types of bar mode. One is stacked one, which I already shown you, and then this is group one, and the last one is relative. Okay, as you can see in this group bar chart, the very first bar doesn't have the green bar, because at the very beginning that value for public chart was 0. Okay, and with time then there is change in the percentage of the ownership in different categories. Okay, this is all about the group bar chart look like and the stacked bar chart look like. And in the next lesson we're going to learn some more different types of bar chart. Like this, till now the bars which I have shown you are in the form of the vertical format, and next I'm going to show you that that will be in the form of the horizontal. Okay, and then we're going to add some more features later on. So for till now, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep visualizing. Hey friend, welcome back. In my previous lesson I have told you that how you can create the bar charts, the very simple bar charts, which by default their orientation is in the vertical direction. Here I'm going to change the orientation to the horizontal to create the horizontal bar charts. And so what's the difference between horizontal and the vertical bar chart is, earlier in vertical chart we put the numerical values into y-axis. This time, when we're going to create the horizontal bar chart, you need to put the numerical values in the x-axis and the category value into y-axis. It will be like vice versa, okay? And the length of each bar will be like from left to right. Earlier in the vertical bar chart, the length of bar chart was like from bottom to upward, okay? So this is the difference between vertical and horizontal bar chart. Here I'm going to just put this attribute orientation and put h here, which means the horizontal, okay? And it will turn your vertical graph into the horizontal one. Yes, this type of chart occurred just because we didn't change the value, like year should be there into our y-axis, whereas the category value should be in our x-axis, okay? So no, and the category value will be into our y-axis, okay? So this is how our bar chart looks like, okay? And with the help of horizontal bar chart, you can uh, add the full length labels easily, because when you are having a lot of space, like y-axis have a lot of space there, you can put whatever you want to, okay? Now I'm going to change the bar mode, because the chart which I turn into is not looking too much attractive. It's better to change the bar mode, and let's check it out that how it will look like. It depends that what kind of data sets you have. Accordingly, put that kind of things and create them using Plotly. So here I have changed the bar mode to the stack, and I think that stacked horizontal bar chart are looking better than the previous one, isn't it? So this is how you can easily create the horizontal bar chart, and you can also change the bar mode as well, and lots of other things which you can do with vertical bar chart. All the things will be same, but you need to change the x and y variables and the orientation as well, okay? And there's nothing to be changed. So for now, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep data visualizing.